Right, to this now. Education activist Hendrick Makaneta has called on the Basic Education Minister, Sivuya Kwahube, to intervene and stop what he says are plans to cut teaching posts in the Western Cape. In a statement, Makaneta says the move is reckless and disastrous and will decimate the province's education system. He joins me now for more on that. Good to have you, Sen. Thank you very much for your time. Having, of course, seen the last round of results, the Western Cape not necessarily doing very well when it comes to those matric results percentages. What do you think has brought about this particular decision of cutting posts?
Well, it appears that the issue has to do with budget allocations, particularly from the National Treasury. You'll recall that austerity measures are being implemented as a result of the economy that is not growing, even though the Department of Higher Education, the basic education gets the biggest chunk in terms of the allocations from the National Treasury. The reality is that, the budget cuts have affected all the departments. And I think that it is a cause for concern that the Western Cape Education Department will not be, will cut jobs, 2,400 teacher posts might be affected, and that may lead to a wide range of problems within the sector.
Yeah. It's not a new thing. It's been a growing concern of the province. Even this year, Alan Winde would have said, look, this thing of the allocation needs to be re-looked at, saying their allocation was cut by close to 7 billion rands over the next 3 years. Do you think that this, I suppose, is one way in which the province would want to put pressure on national government in an attempt to lobby National Treasury, if you like, to increase their budget?
I think that, the province should be honest and open about discussions. They must be able to sit on the table with National Treasury with a view to try to resolve the issue. But of course, threats of cutting posts, have got dire consequences because if teachers are not employed in the Western Cape, the problem will exacerbate into other provinces. And the reality is that you might be left with overcrowded classrooms. And I think that to answer your question directly, the province should not necessarily blame national government alone. They too have got a responsibility to make sure that they get their house in order where they are not able to source funding. Because remember, it's not like they're not getting anything at all from national government. I think that 64% of their budget will be covered, and they may need to source out, funding for the remaining 36% of their budget. And they should not work alone. We have the private sector that is always willing to come on board with a view to assisting, government. And I think that they should go that route. The province should go that route to make sure that, they make up for the shortfall.
Yeah. What will the impact, what would be the immediate impact of the actions that they have taken to want to cut those posts?
Well, the immediate result will be, or impact will be that, there will be a lot of teachers who will be negatively impacted upon. And as I said, the situation will also affect the learners. And, you might see teachers moving out of Western Cape, going into other provinces. And as I said earlier, the situation may exacerbate the already existing problem in other, provinces as well. There is a need for, jobs are very important. It can't be correct that, the department has just decided that the only thing to do is to cut teacher posts. I think that they must be able to find an alternative way, to address the issue as opposed to leaving people unemployed.
Yeah.
We already face, especially young people who have just recently qualified. I mean, unemployment on its own is a big problem in the country. And to add to the existing high rate of unemployment in the country, it's a cause for great concern.
So it's always been raised. For example, recently, the private sector said we've got, I think it was 100 million, if not more, to assist with the energy situation. And one of the arguments that was made was that, look, you can't just take private money and use it for state purposes. So how do you suggest the schools or the education department will be able to use private funding to assist them in this case?
I think that in this case, collaboration between a public as well as a private can certainly go a long way. We know that there are, in this country, we don't only have, public schools, but we also have private schools, which are also, under the auspices of government. And in this case, there must be that partnership to make sure that where possible, teachers can also be absorbed, in the independent schools as well. But that partnership can only go a long way if government gets involved to make sure that, in this case, all of the affected teachers, are able to secure jobs. What is important here is to make sure that, we don't leave anyone. No one should be left unemployed of the suggested number of teachers in the Western Cape. I think that is what is key. That relationship between the public and the private is very much important.
Hendrick Makaneta, I appreciate your time. Let's leave it there for tonight. Hendrick Makaneta, education activist, they're saying we cannot stand aside and watch while our education system is being dismantled, calling for Minister Sivuya Kwahube to intervene urgently in what he calls an education crisis in the Western Cape.